Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs of all ages, it's your boy the Monarch Brian Monobrow, and today we are back with an updated version of Top 5 Least Favourite Gods in Smite. Now I emphasise on that title as my last title for this was Top 5 Worst Gods in Smite, opinions so far. Now back then I had only had the game for 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, something like that. Now obviously I've played it for about 3 or 4 months, and I've got nearly all gods mastered. I think I'm on like 62 or something. I have a really good understanding of the game now. So yeah, I understand I did title the last vid really badly, but let's just forget about it. I've still got people today ranting in the comment section of how shit of a vid is, but I don't give a shit, okay? Let's just move on. If I put shit on my channel, then just fucking live with it. You came to me. Let's just be fucking honest. Anyway, let's get straight into number 5. So, making a return to the list, at number 5 is Arachne. Now, I feel like her kit, I don't really like the way her kit plays out. I haven't really used her kit to full effect. Now, I understand I haven't actually played Arachne as much as other gods. I don't even think I've quite got her mastered yet, but so I understand I don't really have much of a standpoint to say stuff about her, but I'm just not a huge fan of how up close and personal you have to be with her kit, and the way her kit actually plays out, and especially with the ult where you can either use it to initiate or get out, and sometimes I'll just make that wrong mistake of using it to get in and then finding that I'm trapped, or just, I'm not a big fan of her, and I understand she does have very good jungling potential in that, but I don't really play any other gods on Conquest apart from Guardians playing support, because I don't feel like I'm comfortable enough playing other positions yet. But yeah, number 5 is Arachne. In at number 4, let's go into it. So coming in at number 4 is Osiris. Now I understand Osiris is probably one of the safest and strongest solo laners at the moment, but it's another god where I don't feel like I've used their kit to the full potential. I understand that the stun is very effective. You have to get right up close. I think in the matches that I've played, people have been stuck under tower, so I haven't really been able to get much use of Osiris. I understand he does have 2 ranged attacks with their abilities, but it's another god where I just don't feel like they do enough damage, and I just feel like they literally flick them with 2 of their abilities. But as I say, I might be playing them wrong, but I'm just not a huge fan of how Osiris plays out. So yeah, Osiris is at number 4. In at number 3. So coming in at number 3 is one of the newer gods, Amaterasu. Now I understand she was quite broken. She was another broken god on release, and she's been nerfed quite a bit, and she's sort of like mediocre. She's still played in the SPL a bit, I think. I don't really watch too much of it, but I've seen her every now and then. And yeah, she's another one where she just hasn't really taken to my heart. I think she was played in jungle at first when she was released, and then she moved over to the solo lane, and that's where she's only really viable. I think the only thing that I enjoy about Amaterasu is her ult. Her ult is pretty fun to use. However, the rest of the kit is just, I don't know, something doesn't feel right. And it's quite easy to just miss the 3, I believe it is, the thing where it sends out some sort of like orb of light, or like reflection of light. But yeah, it's another god which I haven't really grasped the hang of, and I don't really feel I don't know. I understand she is pretty good in Conquest at the moment, but she's just not my cup of tea. So moving on to number 2. Okay, so number 2 might be a surprising one from me, as I'm in love with Guardians and I am a support player, so I love being tanky and that whilst doing damage and having a lot of CC. But number 2 is Geb. Now I find Geb probably the most boring god to play as. He doesn't really do, obviously me, I'm a very kind of heavy damage based Guardian player, which is why I like Kumbhakana, Ymir, sometimes Ares, I'm not a big fan. Bacchus I don't really play much of Conquest, but I do love him in Joust. He's currently the best god in Joust right now. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of Geb at all. Most of the time I play quite passively with him, and I understand he's not really meant to do damage. He's a very kind of support, hang back and help your team kind of like Guardian, but I'm just not a huge fan of his kit. I understand that people say, like, if you remove all of his kit but his shield, he's still an OP god. And I do realise that he is pretty OP. He's like the second best god, second or third best guardian in the whole game. Obviously Khepri and Athena being the two best, but I'm just not a big fan of him, and he's just so boring to play as. But yeah, that's number 2. Moving into number 1. Okay, so number 1, you'll probably think, oh yeah, it's going to be Ratatoska again. No, I have fallen in love with Ratatoska recently. I understand he still does fuck all damage, but he is so fun to play, dashing in and out and all that, using all the different Acons and comboing. Comboing is so fucking gorgeous with Ratatoska. But yeah, Ratatoska's like nowhere near. In fact, I'm tempted to put him on my top 5 favourite, but not for the moment, that's for another video. But yeah, number 1 is going to be a Wheelix. It's another return to this list. I still cannot stand the way you have to play with a Wheelix. I'm dreading actually finishing her mastery. I'm not a big fan of her at all. So I understand probably my positioning is probably shit, and I'm not a big fan of assassins at all. The only assassins I do like is Kali and Neja, simply because you can jump in and just get kills and then you'll be fine, because like by the time you've got kills like that, your team has come in and helped you and they can CC you so you can get away. But with a Wheelix, I just cannot position her right, and I can't really just get her. Like, I understand like her comboing, you have to get it perfect to get it right, and I'm just not very good at doing that. I understand she is a very overpowered god, and I was wrong to like say all of that shit about her before, and I just don't really like the way that her ult can only be used by knockups. And I understand it's like a different kind of like change to using ults, but I just don't like it, and I think that's what I was doing wrong before when I put a Wheelix up, is I kind of just use the ult whenever I didn't really understand it. But obviously now that I understand it and I've read all of the descriptions of like nearly all the gods, and I understand how they function, but yeah, a Wheelix, I just cannot get used to her at all. So yeah, that is my top 5 least favourite gods list. Don't forget, this is only opinions, don't get too like criticism-y over it, okay? But let me know what you guys think below, let me know what yours is, or if you've made vids, then like just say and I'll click on your channel and have a look at it. Give me ideas for other top 5s or maybe even top 10s, that'd be awesome. But as for now guys, I love you and leave you. May the force be fucking with you. Hakuna Matata. Thanks for watching. Peace out.